How y'all feeling today? How your pH? Hi, it's your girl Raven with pH Balance Podcast. And today I have the beautiful Miss Shaq with me today. Shaq, how you feeling?
I'm okay.
How's your pH?
Oh, my pH is good.
Okay, so if you guys don't know if it's your first time checking my show out, my podcast out, when I say how's your pH, it means how's your peace and happiness.
Oh.
Right. So when I say how's your pH balance today, how's your peace and happiness today?
Okay. My peace and happiness is good today.
You're good.
Yeah, that pH is good too.
Yeah. I'm not thrown off, okay? I'm balanced today. So I had Shaq on the show today because me and Shaq, we have a lot in common. We met in esthetician school. We both pretty much do the same thing. Shaq is really into more skincare than me. I'm more a lash girl.
Yeah, you can have that.
Yeah. But she's amazing at doing facials. And her shop is really nice. You opened up a shop?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, in the university area.
Yeah, so tell about your business.
My business. So the name of my business is New Image Skin and Body Studio. I'm also known as the Locked SD on Instagram. And I also rent suites there, but I specialize in facials and waxing.
Yeah, so if you guys are in Charlotte and you need a new esthetician to get that skin together, make sure you check out Shaq. So I had Shaq on the show today because me and Shaq share, like I said, a lot in common. But one thing in common that we share, not only is esthetician aesthetics, but Shaq has a daughter and I have a daughter. And lately we've been experiencing grief. Mm-hmm. Even though I wasn't married, I was in a relationship, and I talk about Mike all the time. His name was Mike. But I was in a relationship with my daughter's father for almost 15 years. And he recently passed away. Mine was about a year and 5 months. And Shaq, how long has it been for you? Her husband, actually.
4 months.
It's only been 4 months for Shaq. And one thing that we have to try to do to keep our peace and happiness together is pushing through for our girls. We don't get a chance to just sit down and ball up in the bed, even if we want to, and cry. We still have to get up and go to work. We still have to show them that life still goes on, even through tough times. So, Shaq, how have you been doing since your husband passed?
The first month was probably the absolute hardest. Just being able to still raise a daughter and still go through life. The hardest thing was telling her, though. And then the second hardest was being able to show that emotion to her, because I wouldn't. And it came to the point where my mom sat us both down, was like, no, you sit here and you sit on her lap and y'all sit here and y'all cry together. That was the hardest. Mm-hmm. That was the hardest. But it helped because I guess in a sense, she never saw me cry, because I didn't want to show her that. Like, you never want to show your child you crying in your most vulnerable state. But it was needed, because I guess she thought that, well, you're never crying and I'm always crying. So, like, do you really miss daddy? Or whatever she was thinking. So once we did that and we had that moment and we have those moments, it's been better.
I think for me, my 15-year-old, I mean, your baby is how old?
5.
She's 5. But my 15-year-old, for me, like, when he first passed away, I couldn't sleep. Like, I was the one balled up in bed. Like, I had to have her next to me, because he would come to me in my dreams every night. Mm-hmm. It was like I would dream about him. I would picture him. Mm-hmm. I would picture how he passed away. It was just like in my mind constantly. So I was kind of like holding on to her at night. And I felt like she was stronger than me.
They are. Oh, God, they are.
Yeah. I felt like she was a lot stronger than me. And even now, like, with me trying to move on with my life, I feel like sometimes I'm like, am I supposed to, like, I had to tell her one time, like she kind of questioned me, like, Mom, like, you don't seem like you are sad anymore. I'm like, no, I'm sad. Like, I try not to show it. Mm-hmm. I want to be strong for you, and I want to show you that you don't give up on life. You got to keep going, even in sad times. So, like, for you, like, what ways, like, what are your coping, how do you cope when you are feeling down now with
Working.
trying to be a mom?
Working is a coping. Praying and just spending time with her or with my friends, finding something. But I also can't say that I really sat still. So when I sit still, it's probably gonna really, really like hit me 10 times worse. But I just try to stay as active as possible.
Yeah, I think me too.
But I also, in the very beginning, like I felt guilty for laughing or having a fun moment. I was just like, am I supposed to be doing this?
Yeah. I think that's a normal way to feel.
Yeah.
I think it's a normal way to feel. But like, how does your daughter question you on like certain things about her dad with her being so young? Like,
She doesn't really question anything. She more so, like, for instance, she'll just say random things. And I'm like, what the? So the other night, she wanted to sit outside. Mm-hmm. And she wanted to sit outside because we cooked on the grill. She was like, I want us to sit outside. We was like, okay, we'll sit outside. And then she was like, Mommy, where Daddy at? I said, he up there in the sky looking down on us. She said, no, he not. He right there with you. I said, okay. I said, well, if he right there with me, why you ask me where he at then? So she'll just say random stuff like that. And I'll be like, what?
you know, they say kids see things. Mm-hmm. Maybe she saw him.
She might really have.
Yeah.
So he probably was right there with me.
I remember at Mike's funeral, my cousin's baby said, I saw Mike flying up in the sky when we let the balloons go with the doves. And she said, I saw him go up in the sky. And, you know, my ex kept saying, like, kids see things, Raven. Kids see things. And I, you know, I felt like I was numb around that time where I was just like, whatever. Mm-hmm. But, you know, maybe she saw him. Maybe he was standing right beside you.
Right there.
Maybe he was helping you cook that food.
Oh, he's helped me a lot. Because my husband was the builder, right? So one day, my sister bought her some daggone Legos. And I was like, she was like, Mommy, let's do this. I said, that I don't be building stuff. Girl, we sat there and built those Legos, but I swear I could hear him in my head, like, make sure it's flush and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, yeah, you helped me build these Legos because there's no way. This is not my thing. I don't be putting stuff together. That was his job. Building? No.
How do you feel now, like, knowing that you really, like, alone? Like, you don't have anyone. Like, in this climate with being back on this dating scene with these men, I know you probably not dating yet. But, you know, I know it's probably came across your mind like, damn, I'm going to have to, one day I'm going to be dating again. Like,
yeah, what does that even look like? Because I heard it's real ghetto out here. And, like, dating apps or anything, I'm not doing that. I better meet them in church or somewhere. I don't know. Or outside, but not outside, like in the club, but like outside restaurant, something. I don't know.
It's real ghetto.
Yeah, I don't know. Uh-huh. And then to even bring somebody around my child, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what that looks like, because even like now, if I were to date somebody, it's like to bring someone around her and not, I mean, we never know, right? Like, we never know how it's going to end up. So to bring somebody around and not really know if you're going to be around, I couldn't put her through that loss again. Right. Like, absolutely not. Yeah. So I would have to be super selective.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever meets Shaq and you want to come in her life, make sure you're serious. We don't have time for games.
None.
We don't have time for games.
None at all.
Her baby don't have time for your games either. Okay? I'm making a disclaimer right now. Okay?
Because she going to let you know.
Because if you slide in her DMs, you trying to play, we going to fight you. We don't got time for that.
And the DMs be, I'm like, what are you doing?
Have you experienced any of his friends trying to talk to you? Me too. That's a topic. Why is it that they think we're weak?
I was like, for real, like you were my husband's friend.
Yeah. Yep.
How do you even think that that's okay?
That's for real.
So this means that you have always had eyes.
Yeah. Grief doesn't mean we're weak.
Not at all.
It's like we don't need you to slide up in our bed just because we. Yeah, I've had friends, some of his friends, and I politely decline. Like, no,
absolutely,
I would never do that to him, even in death.
No.
But that's another
topic for another day.
So you said that one way you deal with grief mainly is to stay busy.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do to take time for you?
What does even taking time for me look like? I have not really figured that out yet. Taking time for me right now is I've been giving myself facials because I've been neglecting myself there. I do want to start getting massages regularly. I want to take a solo trip, and I even want to do like a solo staycation. Just check myself in a hotel and put my phone on D&D.
I'm gonna do a solo trip next week.
Where are you going?
St. Bart's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a solo trip. This is my second solo trip.
Okay.
I went to Cabo.
Okay.
It was either Cabo or what's the other one? Tulum.
Okay.
One of those. I can't remember which one.
You be gone.
I'll be gone. Because let me tell you something. Life is short, and we gotta live our life.
Absolutely.
And we gotta be happy, and we gotta show our girls like life don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want my daughter to feel like when things happen in life, you just give up.
You can't.
You can't give up.
Especially when you got kids. You absolutely cannot give up.
Yeah, you can't give up.
Even though some people do, but we can't.
Sudden things happening is completely out of our control. It's out of our control. Death is out of our control. We don't know what time, what day, what hour. So the best thing to do is try to hug on the people you love and love on them as hard as you can, because you don't know when.
You just know it's going to happen.
You know it's going to happen.
So make sure that they're prepared financially and memory-wise.
Right. Have you thought about therapy?
Oh, I'm in therapy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Naomi will be starting next month just because it's a lot going on. It's a lot of people dealing with grief.
Right.
So for her, it was a 4-month waiting list.
Yeah.
4 months is insane.
Yeah.
But luckily it did not take 4 months. They was like, we're going to say 4 months, but it could take 2. But they called me like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later. So hopefully that helps her, because she doesn't really know how to vocalize what she's feeling.
Right.
So that's been a struggle, and she always wants me.
And them being so long, well, you know, being so young. Mia, she was 13 when it happened. So thank God she got to enjoy a little longer with her dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She got to know him even a lot better. And, you know, all I can say is I'm happy that he's not suffering anymore. He had stage 4 lung disease. So a lot of that played on like his mental and his health and all of that stuff, being, you know, in the house 24/7 on oxygen. He had just had 2 double lung transplants. So, you know, he just kept saying like, I don't feel like myself. So, you know, I think for myself with the grief process, just knowing that he's not in pain anymore, and to know I didn't know how it felt to be sick like that and suffering like that, it gives me peace. And my daughter, a lot of times, she want to talk about stuff. Like, she want to hear stories about me and her dad and how we met. Even though I done told her 50 times.
She just wants you to tell her again.
She want me to tell her again. So, memories, just talking to her about stuff. And I don't try not to let him be a
distant memory.
A distant memory. I try to keep him alive, you know. And the good, and I try to keep it real about everything, good and bad. Like, you know, the good parts of her dad and the bad parts of her dad, because that's just my reality.
Right.
So, grief is something. It's something real.
It's a roller coaster, for sure.
What advice could you give people who are going through grief?
What advice could I give? Allow people in. Allow people to love on you, and communicate with those people. Don't think that you're in this alone at all. Lean on people. Lean on them, because you're going to need them. I don't know what I would do without the village that I have, honestly. I would probably be in a mental hospital somewhere.
I remember when I saw that he had passed, it was like a sharp pain in my, I was like, damn, like, you know, I don't know, when I see stuff like that, I just kind of like get sad, like damn, like, I don't know, it just made me like, ugh, like,
it's like reliving it all over again.
I know your pain, like, even though I don't know your pain, I know your pain, you know, and even though he may have passed a different way, it's still a pain, and then to know you got to raise your kids by yourself. Yeah. You're her only parent.
Only parent. Never would have imagined that in my life.
Me either.
That's not what I planned for.
No. So how was your support system with your family and your friends?
Amazing. Like, they showed up in a way that I'm not going to say I didn't expect them to, because like, you have family and you have friends, but you really don't know the capacity until like something tragic or bad, or you're sick, or you really need them. But everybody showed up. Everybody showed up. Yeah.
I think that's important. I can't say I really experienced that 1,000%. Like, everybody showed up. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I would say I got nice text messages. I got flowers sent to me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if at that time in my life, if because I wanted to be myself, but I think I was expecting my closest family and friends
to show up a little bit more.
Yeah. So that was another part of my grief. Like, you know, like when somebody died, you expect your family to rush to your house and be in there around you pretty much every day until you get, even if you don't really want them, even though I know I didn't really want nobody really around me at that time, when I sit back and I kind of think about like how it was, I probably had maybe one or two. My mom was here. She stayed for days. I had two friends that came. One friend, she was out of town when it happened. So when she got back in town, she came over here immediately. She brought me flowers. She sat with me, like, you know, talked. But other than that, I had a couple of my aunts and like my cousin. The day it happened, my cousin showed up. But I feel like, you know, that's another part of grief. Be there for your people. Show up for your people, whether it's, you don't have to like, flowers and stuff are nice, but even just sitting with them.
Just come and sit.
You don't even have to say anything.
Nothing. Because it's nothing really that you can say.
It's nothing you can say. Just sit and be there with them. You know, that is really important. And supporting somebody when they're going through grief or a heartbreak. Because really, it was a heartbreak for me. And I'm sure it was for you too, to lose somebody who you
planned on spending the rest of your life with.
Yeah. So, be there for your people, love your people, and support your people through grief, and give your friends and family space to grieve. Yeah.
And maybe some people don't know how to be there for people in that time, because it's hard.
Maybe
so. You got to give people grace too, because maybe they just didn't know how to.
Maybe. But
we won't hold that against them.
But you know what? We can't hold that against people, because, you know, in order for me to keep my peace and happiness balanced, you have to learn how to let things go.
Let them.
Yeah. You have to let them go. And move forward. So I have to thank Shaq for coming on my podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
And giving us some wisdom and wise words on how to push through hard times and grief, and love on your kids a lot, because you playing the mama and the daddy, even though you can never be the daddy.
I was about to say, I can never be the daddy.
You can never be the daddy.
I be looking at her like, girl, you act just like your daddy. Because that's not me. That's
and mine too. That attitude, I be wanting to say, and that stubborn, that smart mouth.
Stubborn, smart mouth, and silly.
Yeah.
Silly.
He was silly. You know, he was so serious with me. Her man was really serious with me. I would be like, hey. He would be like,
so
damn. Can I get a smile or something? He let you know he went, I ain't looking at no other woman than my wife. What's up? He loved you.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty in it.
Yes.
I hope you find that again.
You too.
Yeah. Stay fuck nigga free. Thank you for watching PH Balance Podcast. Peace out.